Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. Found these two guys. Somebody I haven't looked at in a while. Colonial, yeah. Let's check them out. So what I'm talking about is these two knives. They're both Colonial. The main reason I looked at them, look how thin they are. Now, this one has that unusual cracked ice on it. It's not your normal stuff. I think that's what you would call it, right? The interesting thing is if you look at the edges, it's kind of worn away. I don't know if they did that or that just wore away with time. Now, one of the reasons I like this knife, and you can see it, it's a very simple two-blade jack. You've got a pen blade, and this, when I first looked at it, I thought it was a spear point that was worn. Well, not so much. This is a very typical clip from Colonial. It's not very obvious, and in fact you have to look carefully. You can see how it comes down here in a straight line and the bottom comes up to it. It's almost like somebody flattened out a drop point. Now I thought that was unusual, and I thought, no, maybe they got that wrong. Okay. I'm looking here at the tang stamp, and if you look carefully you'll see it there. You can see it up here. It's a pretty typical one from that era, allegedly. It's got that curved Colonial with just Providence underneath, and I think below that it says USA. I can't really tell, but allegedly that's what they say. The reason I said that whole clip point thing, now this blade's pretty beat up. We got this guy here. Same thing again, you have that drop down in a very, very straight line. See that? The tip's broken. So I've got to bring that up and to clean it up, which means that the blade's going to be a little shorter. It's not a lot, it'll barely be noticeable, hopefully. And this guy is the one I really like. Now you can see it's got the black handles, it has the badge. And if you look at the badge, it says Forest Master. I had to look up and find more information on it. And as you know, with Colonial, they kept no records. They were around for like 100 years. Yeah, they've been around that long. And they never kept any records. They just made their knives. I'm pretty sure their shop had working records for how to put them together and what they were using and all that stuff. But their tang stamp was random, and you can't age it from that. So I looked around a little bit, and what I found was this is, like I said, the Forest Master. Okay, you can see it says Forest Master on there. It has this black, I want to say plastic, or maybe it's that other nasty stuff, celluloid, right? That gets weird and can catch on fire, shrinks, it does all sorts of weird stuff. Now it's one of those, and it's jigged, a very tight, busy jig, and you got your 3 pins on it, and of course those tip bolsters, what I call the toenail bolsters. Silver liners, nice plain little knife. And they called this the Forest Master. Let me get this open for you so you can see. Camping Scout Knife. Now it's not an official Scout. They just called it a Scout knife. Now if you saw my last video, you saw what that was all about. Well, this puts a whole different swing on that. You know, it just has the tools, and it doesn't have a second blade. It's just got 3 tools on it. And you can see here you got the alleged clip point, you have your can opener, that very old style can opener, and then screwdriver, cap lifter. Very typical. I'd call this maybe a junior scout, something like that, because it doesn't have a lot on it. But apparently, this is one of their most popular knives they ever made. Now, from what I can tell, reading up on it, people suggesting how to date them and that sort of thing, this is from about the 70s, the 60s to 70s. And they originally came out with this guy just after the... Say hello to the boss. What now? Mary, what are you doing? What do you do? Like I said, it was very popular, and it came out originally, they came out as a clamshell. And it wasn't long after the Second World War that they did it. And it turned out to be one of their most popular knives. Now, obviously, this is not a clamshell. This came later, and it had a bail on it. Okay? No, not this bail. I made this bail. Can you tell? I still got to finish it up. It's not quite tight the way I want it to. It needs to be straightened out a little bit and come in. But I thought it was a good size for the knife. So a very cool knife. Like I said, the blade kind of sort of beat up. So we got to clean that up, clean up this mess here, and hopefully it'll clean up nicely. And I believe it's stainless. Now, if you ever do come across one of the clamshells and you look on the blades and one of them says patent pending, well, that's from the 45 to 60 period. So now you can get a rough dating on your knife. And I'm not sure, but I think I might have a clamshell. If I do, I'll get it and I'll show it to you. But I really like this. One of the reasons is it's so thin. You won't really feel this in your pocket. And is it a scout knife? Well, it's got all the tools. It's a 3-tool scout. It doesn't have the fourth, which would either be the awl or the pen blade, right? But if it's a scout, it's a pen blade. If it's an awl, it's a camp knife. Allegedly. A camp knife was really designed for camp duty. Things around the camp, all sorts of things. Whereas a scout was more designed that you could do a lot with it, but most of it was food prep. Can opener, bottle opener, pen blade, main blade. So you're cutting and slicing the pen blade being for more delicate work, things like that. So there you go. Very nice. I just want to clean it up, fix it up, and make it look good again. Quite fun. This is what I deal with. She insists on sitting on the knives I'm talking about. Right? She's been napping all day again. It's warming up, so hopefully she'll get more active. No. And then this guy's in really good shape. Now, this is a nice little knife. Same thing again. It's thin. It's got a couple of little issues. Nothing serious. You can see there it's cracked at the back there. But I'll just strengthen it. I'll put some glue on it, some clear glue, and we can clean it up. And like I said, it has the unusual cracked ice look. And I don't know why it's like that. Obviously, this coating that they put on is pretty thin. Can you see how it's worn away? But very cool. So, let's go clean them up. And before I forget, this era of the non-clamshell, where they were using celluloid and plastic on the handles, would be 70s to 80s period. So there's an indicator for you. I really need to fix this bail. But unfortunately, if you look at where it goes into, can't really see it, but the hole's pretty damaged. I think I might fill it with some hard glue and then let it set and re-drill the holes so it gives a better fit. You can see how it flops around in there, and it's on both sides. You can see there how it's like chipped away. So let's go do this. Here's what I was talking about. I have this guy that I modified. I put the bone handle on, but you can see this is a clamshell. Now this is a Forest Master. It came with the badge and everything, except the clamshell covering and everything was totally destroyed. So I decided to put the bone on. And interestingly enough, the blade here is a spear point. And the tank stamp, the Colonial, is not rounded. It's just straight across. And it says, Providence. It doesn't say the full word. It just says PRO and then USA. So this one is actually newer than these guys. Although it is the clamshell, it's not as old as these guys. Interesting. That bail. Yeah. So there you go. So here we have these two guys, and we're going to do this guy first, the two-blade jack. And I can tell you that the snap on this thing is almost dangerous. See that? So it's in pretty good condition. It just needs a quick shine and polish, and we'll sharpen the blades. There's an edge on it, but it feels weird. Why does it feel weird? Oh, that's why. It's not even. It feels off center. When I go this way, I can barely feel the edge, but this way I can feel it. Well, we'll clean that up. Probably the same on the other blade. Ooh, man. So I'm going to hit this guy with 1200, and then we'll go to 3000, and then we'll just do some mothers. That's all it should need. This one might need a little bit more. We've got to fix the blade and then clean up this mess. And I want to put a colored glue in there. I'll just use a clear glue and I'll mix it with acrylic. We'll put it in there and then re-drill those holes so that it doesn't flop around so much. We've got to clean this off. So we'll do that next. So here we have this guy here. It's in pretty good shape. There's a lot of scratching and there's hot spots. The handle, I don't want to use sandpaper. I'm going to just use mothers on that because I'm worried about getting rid of this stuff. We can clean this up. Mothers will do that. But it's the blades I want to clean up. Just give them a rub. I've got 1200, 3000, 10,000. And here I've got some wet dry that I'll just use on the wells. Give them a quick clean. This guy should not take much, hopefully. One thing about sandpaper, the heavier the grit, in other words, the lower the grit. For example, here's 80 grit. You use that, you better not press hard because you're just going to introduce more scratches. So you shouldn't be pressing hard when using the sandpaper. It's one of the reasons I like the foam back. It just gives it a more even wipe when you're going over it. You're not getting any hard, or you're not pressing harder or softer. The foam keeps it a lot more even. And of course you want to brace it. So I just use this piece of wood, put it on there just to take any strain off the blade. So here we go. Let's start with 1200. Going to clean up the ricasso area here, and then we'll go across the blade and we'll do the tip bolsters and all that good stuff. See how we go. And this is 1200, so it shouldn't scratch too much and should start smoothing out the shine a little bit. And then you just change the position of the blade and you can get a little bit more further in. And when you do it, go back and forth. You don't want to stay in the same groove. Always finish off a blade going long ways. There you can see it's a little bit more consistent. Then we're going to do the spine, and I just rock the blade like this so that I'm not in that groove. Push the tip in there so you don't catch it on the sandpaper. You can clean out the nail neck. If you use just some of this, bend it over, you can get in there and clean out. It gathers a lot of junk. You'll be surprised. You can see it there. Careful of your blade, by the way. As soon as you're done doing the blades, you want to tape them up to do the rest, because you're going to be around your blade with your fingers and whatnot. And there you are, 1200, just starting to make it a little bit more consistent. You can do the other blade, then we'll work on the rest of it. And just a lot more consistent. Alright, let's tape the blades up and then we'll start dealing with the rest of it. The tip bolsters, I'm just going to go this way on them, very lightly. And you want to obviously stay away from that part of the handle. I want to just reinforce these, so I'm going to use some liquid super glue on it. I'll just dip it on there before we start doing anything too. Don't want to put a lot in because I don't want to be sandpapering this area. Now we get on to the spine. I just squeeze my paper in half here, and then Just carefully rub here because you don't want to be rubbing on the covers there. The same thing down the top of the well. Now I'm going to use my wet dry. This is 400 wet dry. It's a little heavy, but it'll clean it up. Don't forget these areas here on, you're actually going to be cleaning the tang of the blade, the edge of it. Just want to clean up that area. And then you can make it a little thicker if you want. You can do both sides at once. If you can get it in there. And at the back here, down all the way to the bottom. And you'll eventually get to see some of the shine, you see there. So there we are there. Now we're going to go to 3000. I'm going to repeat the whole process. And here you see it at 1200. Now we're going to go to 3000 and we're going to start to see a much smoother, consistent shine. So remember, you don't have to press hard, you're just cleaning it. And you've got to hold the paper. So here we are at 3000. Getting some nice shine. So now 10,000. Rinse and repeat. This just feels like rough, regular paper. I'm going to go very lightly over the handle because I want to get that and I want to get the pins. I'm going to, you see this dirt? Don't use that. Start with a clean piece. This stuff warms up, and if this melts, anything that you have on here is going to get stuck on the handle. So be careful and watch your blades. I'm not going to do very much. I just want to bring them out a little bit better. It doesn't take much. And here we're at 10,000. Shines them up nice. I'm going to be putting a couple of drops on here of super glue. Not much. I'll just use a toothpick just to fill them in, just to give them some strength. Hopefully stop them from cracking anymore. And then we'll just let that dry. And while we're doing that, I'm going to do that guy. So now we have this guy, and you can see it's got some build up here. Hopefully we can get rid of that with the 1200. If not, maybe go down to half that, 600. Got to repair the blade and clean it up. Clean the well. It's in really good condition except for the blade tip. I'm going to do that right now. I don't want to reduce this top. So if you look carefully, there is kind of a point there. So I'm going to bring that down around so we can keep as much length as we can. You can see how the blade was damaged. Let's see if I can show you that. You can see right there and right there. It's got nicks in it, actual dents right there. Gonna take some cleanup. And here we are here with the shape. And there you can see that really bad nick. Hopefully we can get past that with the sharpener. And we have our kind of sort of clip. Okay, let's see if we can get rid of this stuff with just the 1200. You can see there, and then, so the 1200 did its job, which is a good thing. That neck is really bothering me. See that? I'll clean up the rest. Once we've cleaned it up, I'll be putting the glue in these holes where the bail goes. Can you see the holes there? They're pretty worn and beat up. And then let it dry, and then I'll re-drill them. And then we'll do the mothers and whatnot. Here we are now. Just mothers left on this one. That cleaned up nice. I like these thin knives. I really do. They so comfortable in your pocket. So what I want to do now is fill these holes and then re-drill those holes. I bent it. Yeah, it'll do. So let's polish them up with mothers and sharpen them. I just don't think I can get rid of that. I wonder if I should take it in a little bit more. I'm not going to be able to get past that neck. It's pretty bad. Let me try and reduce it more. So I reduced it a bit more. It's still barely there, but I'm hoping I can get past it with the sharpener. Really don't want to take too much metal off. Okay, so let's mother these guys up. Gonna use mag and aluminum mothers. So you can see the shine here. Let's put some mothers on and see how it smooths it off. Makes it a lot more consistent. I like finishing with mothers. I can use it all over, just like with anything on the handle. Don't go too long, too fast, too hard. It will heat it up. And here we are here. Cleaned up nicely. I like these knives. Like I said, I like the thin feel to them. I think it makes them real comfortable. I'll put some oil on them, and then we'll start sharpening them. And I'll polish this guy quickly. This is the guy that was really tough to get out. It's a little rough. All right. Very nice. So we're going to polish this guy quick. This guy was in really good condition, so yeah. But it's the thought that counts. Now, ideally, when you're done with mothers, you should just wash it off because it leaves a residue and it is not food safe. So, if you're like me and I use these a lot for food, fruit and things like that, when I carry it in my pocket, I wash them off with very diluted down dishwasher, soap and water. And it'll take all the residue off, and there you are. Just remember, it is not food safe. One thing about this knife is the springs. Look how thick they are. On a little blade like this, it's got a half stop. But man, the snap is snappy. Half stop. Can see that. So I'm using 400 here at 20 degrees. I want to get rid of that nick on this guy, so it's going to take a lot. And I want to make sure I'm getting an even edge here. And yeah. We might have got rid of that neck. It's right there. Now I can feel that peel all the way along the edge. I started with 400, I'm going to go to 1,000 now, and then we'll strop. Oh. Need to tighten that. Nope, I didn't get the peel off. Hopefully I can show you what I'm talking about. See there? Right about there. See it? Little shiny. I didn't get all the peel off. I'm going to need to strop more. Man, that blade is loose. I never noticed that. Okay. Here goes nothing. Not getting any of that nick, so we got rid of that. I just want to give this guy a little bit more tension there. Okay, a couple of love taps and we're much better. So yay for that. And as you saw, it's nice and sharp. Now, on the other one, I got two different blades. We got a nice long one here, a really short one. I'll use this for the long one. Then I'm going to use my field kit for the short one. It's just easy. Well, there we go. Very nice. Let's do the little blade. Ooh. My freehand sharpening is iffy at best. But we persist. With the smaller blades, I'm not really that worried about it. And that'll do. So there we are. Very nice little knives. Colonial actually did some, wasn't a big fan of the clamshells, but these I really like. Don't get me wrong, their clamshells are good, but they're not as good as the other guys. Whereas these, they'll stand up to most of the other guys. Great little pocket carry. You know, if you're looking for a nice little comfortable, thin EDC carry, for your pocket, this will work just fine. And if you're going walkabout like I would, and you're going to be doing some food prep and things like that, you might want a can opener or a bottle opener and a nice little blade. So this little Forest Master, they actually consider it, never mind the fluff, they consider it a Scout. And I would call it a junior Scout because it's only got 3 tools on it. And, you know, you're going walkabout, a little bit more handy than the other guy. And, of course, it's thin. You barely even feel it. And then, of course, my nifty 650, kind of okay. Bail. Cleaned up nice, a little bit worried about that nick, but we got rid of it. And made a nice clean cut, and we made it look a little bit more And you can see here, it's meant to be a clip. They call it a clip. Pretty close. It's not that obvious down cut on the actual clip. And of course the Forest Master on there. Very nice. I like them. And a good addition to my Colonials. And I have a couple of them. So there you go. Oop. Let's make them look nice for you. And see them? They sharp and they shiny. What can I say? You all be safe out there. Especially when you're doing your maintenance on your knives and you're sharpening them and things like that. Be careful, because if you don't pay attention, well, there you go. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know this. You know the story. That sometimes works. Well, I've got a couple of things going. I'm trying to do more shorts. Typically, if I do a video of a cleanup or something like that, I'll do in a couple of days, I'll do a short on that knife. Thanks for watching. Always, always appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon.